Hi, this is Mike, the Stager Sidekick, and today I want to talk to you about something that's pretty important about getting a website for your home business. There's a few things to consider. We've talked about websites for our home staging businesses from a lot of different perspectives, but this time I want to talk about the three critical things that you really want to think about when you are getting a website for your home staging business. The three important things that actually go into a website. So the first one is pretty easy. It's the appearance. What does your website look like? Does it look modern? Does it look new? Or does it look old? It's these days websites, technology moves so fast with websites that even a website that's even 5 or 6 or 7 years old can look pretty old and dated. Most website developers, most services that can make a website for you, they can make a website that looks pretty nice. There's the DIY services, the do-it-yourself services like Wix or Weebly or Squarespace. Even GoDaddy has GoCentral, and they allow you to make your own website with a pretty user-friendly interface, and their websites look pretty nice. They're not overloaded with junk, and they can make your business make your website look decent. And then another option is your neighbor's kid who is in high school and he wants to make websites. A lot of home stagers go with this option for getting their website for their business. Your neighbor's kid could probably make a pretty decent looking website for you. It's not that hard these days. In another 5 years, will it still look modern and new, or is it one that's going to look pretty dated pretty quickly? Is the person behind the website there to help support it and make sure that it really reflects your business pretty well? So appearance is pretty important. Almost anybody can make a nice looking website, but obviously the more you pay for a website, the more targeted you get for a home staging business, a developer, the more likely it is to probably look a little bit better. But you can still get a decent looking website with a DIY or just from any source that you get a website. The next thing is the functionality. Now this is getting a little more important. So it's when you land on a website, does it look overcrowded? Does your eyes go into too many places? Is it difficult to know where to go on a website? There's a few things that a home stager really wants to show on their website. One is their portfolio. Your portfolio is really one thing that your potential customers are going to look at to decide whether you have the style or the skill to be able to do a project within their needs. Are you someone who stages condos, already furnished condos, or are you someone who can stage a huge luxury home that's vacant? I mean, you need your portfolio to really show what you can do. And if you are targeting a specific type of client, your pictures and your portfolio should reflect that. Another important thing that your website should have is information about you, about your business. You want your potential client, your website visitor, to be able to learn about you, to get to know you, and to be able to trust you. So your website really needs to show that to your website visitor. That's some more functionality. And then how does the website flow? Is it easy for the person to contact you once they learn about you and see your business and want to learn more? Is it easy for them to find your contact information? Is there a contact form? Is there a contact page? You really don't want to get too overbearing with having your contact information everywhere, because people know how to use websites these days, so they'll know where to look. It just needs to be logical for them to find out how to contact you. It needs to be there, and it needs to be easy to find. Home staging is a specific type of business. Your website will function differently than, say, a website for a church or a website for a coffee shop or even the local car dealership. Each one of those types of websites, even though they could look nice, all have their own unique functionalities. You want your website visitor to do a specific thing, and that's learn about you, to see your work, and to contact you. Now, one of those DIY services like the Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, GoDaddy, they may have the functionality in the way that you need it for your home staging website. However, they make websites or website templates for every type of business. So whether it's specific to home staging, I mean, that's something that you're going to need to build into and ensure it has yourself. Your neighbor's kid, will they be able to know the functionality that your website has? Well, how much do they know about business, let alone your specific business? So they might be able to make a nice looking website, but they may not know how to make a website with the needs that you require. So you can tell them you need a portfolio, you can tell them you need a contact page, but it's the flow, it's the overall functionality of the website that they're really going to need to nail down, because a car dealership has a portfolio as well. A car dealership has a contact page. However, your website and a car dealership website are two completely different types of websites. So just make sure that you are, when you hire somebody or you make your own website, that you are really nailing down the functionality. So the first two things we talked about that are important for a website are the appearance and the functionality. And the third thing, the first two things are very visual. The third thing is not, and this is one area where a lot of home stagers somewhat neglect or don't think it's as important, just because it isn't as visual. And that's the things that I like to call underneath the hood, beneath the hood. So these are things which are the technical aspects that go into your website that you don't really ever see or I mean, you don't think about until there's a need to really think about it. Examples of these are hosting. Hosting, you may have heard, is where your actual website actually lives. So when someone goes to your website, it's pulling the information from the host, from the server, website host servers. So this host needs to be fast, it needs to be reliable. You don't want your website down. You don't want people waiting around seconds for your website to load. This is especially important for a home stager website, which should have a lot of pictures on it to show your work. So pictures are usually pretty big. So if your host is slow, those pictures will take a long time to load, and that's very dissatisfying for your website visitor, and could actually cause them to leave your website, which is the worst thing that can happen. So make sure your host is fast. Make sure it's reliable so your website is always up. Another important thing is something like SSL, which is an SSL certificate, which is Secure Sockets Layer certificate. This turns your website from an HTTP to HTTPS. It also shows in the address bar that it is a secure website. And if you don't have that, it shows that it's not a secure website. And a lot of website browsers are making this a lot more visible to the website visitor, so that people, unfortunately, if they see something that says not secure, it's not good for them to see. But on top of that, it actually provides security. It lets the person know that if they fill out the contact form, that their information is being transmitted securely. Also, Google has told us that it's become a ranking factor, so they're taking an SSL into consideration, whether if your website has SSL and another website doesn't have SSL, your website will rank higher when someone searches in Google for something that your website is about. So get it. What are some other things? Like SEO is important. SEO is mostly dependent on you. However, there are things that your website developer can do to either harm your SEO or help your SEO. And these are things like submitting your website to Google and to Bing and Yahoo, so that they know about your website right away. It's whether it's built on WordPress or with one of those DIY services. WordPress has inherently just better SEO. And there's a lot of other different things that go into ensuring that your website has good SEO that your website developer should include. I don't know, just another thing to consider when you're talking to somebody about making a website for you. Just ask in layman's terms what technical features are on your website and why some things are important or not important. So just to recap, the three important things that are important for our website when you're making one is the appearance. It needs to look nice, and virtually anybody can make a website that looks pretty nice. The next thing is the functionality. Home staging is a very specific industry, and the functionality of your website is very specific. And the third thing is all those things, technical things beneath the hood. I'm Mike Jacobs. I'm the Stager Sidekick. I make websites specifically for home stagers. I incorporate all three of these very critical items into websites. The websites I make for home stagers are attractive. They do have all of that important functionality, and they do have all of the very important things underneath the hood. I want to make sure that my clients' websites are the best websites, both visually, functionally, and technically, that they can get, and for a pretty reasonable price. So I know the home staging business, and I work specifically with home stagers. So my websites are very targeted for you. So again, my name is Mike, and you can contact me at mike@stagersidekick.com or visit my website at stagersidekick.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.